Welcome back. Finally, the World Court said it. UN top court said Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories is illegal. And despite the fact it's a non-binding verdict, yet it's historical. To shed more light on the verdict, on its importance, despite being unbinding, as I said, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Ayman Salah Mourad, Professor of Public International Law and member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Good morning, Nermeen. Good morning, Live TV. Good morning, dear audience.
Sir, let's start immediately with what I said regarding the description of this verdict. Well, we are saying that it's really historical and it's unprecedented to say that clear. The Israeli occupation to Palestinian territories is illegal, and they ask Israel to end this occupation. Despite the fact it's a non-binding verdict, what's its importance or impact on the international community, or is it making any pressure on Israel, or is it going to go en passant, as the French are saying, as many of the UN resolutions?
First of all, it's very accurate that this advisory opinion is a historic one, because this advisory opinion clearly said in detail, in broad detail, that Israel's presence in Palestine is illegal, in addition to its practices, in addition to other many details we will get into later. And the importance of this opinion, that it has a very big legal weight, it has a political weight, and as we say, that national relations are operated by several mechanisms, political mechanisms, economic mechanisms, military, soft power, diplomatic, legal. Now the international law has said its word, and now it's the role of the international society and the states to play their role.
Yes, and to see the world reaction, I mean, for example, the EU welcomed of course, here I'm not talking about the Arab or the Islamic nations reaction, because of course all the Arab and Islamic nations are going to welcome the verdict and to call it historical. But here I'm talking about the West, and about particularly those countries who are backing Israel. When I see that the EU, for example, welcomed the verdict, I think this is an achievement in itself. How do you see this?
Of course, this opinion has been welcomed by the EU, the European Union, and Joseph Borrell said that the European Union respects the advisory opinion of the court. And this is logic, because the European Union is a new union that consists of several units, which are the states. These units are bound together by law, by international law. So the essence of the existence of the European Union depends on the respect of the law and the respect of the legislation. So that was very expected from the European Union, especially as you see many countries have declared recognition, for like Spain, like Norway. Even Norway is not a member in the EU, but in Europe a lot of countries have recently declared their recognition of the Palestinian. You see demonstrations of the people all over Europe, and because if they don't admit the respect for this decision, this will make a kind of double standards within Europe. But on the other hand, the U.S. has not supported the decision, and their point of view, they said that it might complicate the conflict, which a lot of other states does not agree with, because it's already complicated. But the U.S. admitted that they admit and they know that the existence of Israel in Palestine or the practice of Israel in Palestine is unlawful and illegal. So we see that, yes, the West is supporting, especially Europe, the opinion in a very distinct manner.
Sir, in your opinion, what was raised in South Africa also by the Hague or the World Court, and the files which were introduced to the World Court, the admission of many countries of Palestine, I mean to admit that Palestine is an independent state, and to to announce that by countries like Spain, like many Latin American countries. Do you think that all these issues were giving, even in an indirect way, support for the World Court to issue such a verdict?
Yes, of course, and as the International Court of Justice stated that in the public hearing, more than 50 states and international organizations have submitted statements and information relevant to the case in the public hearing. Although Israel hasn't attended, but it submitted its written statement and argument about the jurisdiction of the court, which the court has refuted, but more than 50 states are providing information relevant to their opinion about the illegal presence of Israel in Palestine and the illegal practices of Israel, of discrimination, settlements, the demographic decomposition, altering the status of the holy city of Jerusalem. Yes, more than 50 countries alone in the International Court of Justice, let alone the decision itself that has been made by the General Assembly at late 2022, let alone this decision, because this decision, in order to be issued, it has to have simple majority.
Yeah.
And yes, this decision was very, even the resolution itself of the General Assembly included and recalled a lot of resolutions that affirmed the unlawful existence of
and
Israel.
That were not respected at all by Israel, and unfortunately they continued to breach international law and international humanitarian law. And among the statements which were released, by the way, you said a very important issue or description, to be accurate, of this verdict, that it was a very long descriptive verdict indicating a lot of points. For example, the ICJ said Israel had illegally exploited the Palestinians' natural resources, violated the right to self-determination, and they committed even ethnic cleansing for the Palestinians. Sir, how do you see the usage of these words? I mean, I think it was for the very first time used to describe the Israeli crimes on the Palestinian-occupied territories.
Yes, even U.S. has said that this opinion is a very broad opinion, because this opinion got every detail, because there were two questions that are submitted to the court. This including the illegal existence of Israel and the policies of Israel in summary. So the International Court of Justice divided these two questions into 11 sub-questions or 11 points, and they answered in detail every point. And the most important of which is that the presence of Israel in Palestine is illegal, that Israel is obliged to pay reparations and consumption to the Palestinian people, and that the UN General Assembly Security Council and they have to put modalities. They have to put modalities to end the existence of Israel in the Palestine. And this is the historic for the International Court of Justice to talk to the General Assembly and the Security Council that they have to put modalities to end this kind of existence, and for the state to support this kind of decisions and this kind of action. And that's why we say it's a historic opinion.
Sir, there are also political analysts who are saying that this genocide war and all these crimes committed by Israel during the last 9 months, starting last October, showed the real image of Israel. And now they cannot deceive anyone anymore, saying that they are acting as self-defense and they want to live in peace and they do care about humans' lives. All these fake or pseudo sayings by Israel now cannot be swallowed anymore. So can I say that also the public opinions in many countries are now forcing the leaders giving support to such decisions or verdicts, with thousands of even students in universities all over the world asking for a stop to the bloodshed, saying, I think it was the first time to say, to listen to Western students chanting "Free Palestine"? If you want to elaborate on that too.
Sure. The public opinion has played a very important role because decades ago, in order to cover any conflict, the world has to send journalists, the world has to send military correspondents to cover the story. And that was the only source of the story. But now every person in the world is a journalist. Every person in the world is a military correspondent. The Palestinian people are themselves inside Palestine are military correspondents. And all the people, because they send the videos to each other. So that now people can see on ground what's happening. No, it's not the word for today to lie on the people or something like this. People can say, and this, of course, presented a very public pressure on governments in Europe and in the West and every place. Now people can see what's happening by their eyes, the killing of innocent men, women, children, the starvation. All facts now are clear, and this is a very important point in nowadays world. You can't hide anything. The public opinion plays a very big role, and that's why you have seen that the General Assembly have issued that resolution in the late 2022, even before what happened in October 7th, October 7th, or the war that began in October 7th. So this means that the world has been seeing this for now for the late decade, which is an important point, actually.
So, I think, sir, since Henry Kissinger, it was only Blinken who made these marathon trips to the Middle East to try to find a way or a solution for the current Israeli aggression and brutal genocide war on Gaza and on the Palestinians. Do you think, sir, that this genocide war or these acts by Israel is going to be a rift between Israel and the United States, or they are going to be allies forever? Because in 2 days from now, next Wednesday, it was said that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, is going to address the two chambers in America, and he is going to be the first to do so for 4 times after Winston Churchill, who did it only 3. And I don't know if the announcement or the withdrawal of Joe Biden from the American presidential race is going to have a say here, if this verdict is going to be included. In your opinion, what's your vision about the tomorrow of the relations between Israel and the United States?
Okay, let's say that politics are very volatile. Now, in the past decades, we have seen very permanent and persistent support from the U.S. To Israel. Now, things changed after the last war that is taking place in Gaza. Things began to change. Blinken has made a lot of tours in the region to try to find a solution, and the difference between the points of view was that Palestinians and Arab people, they want political solutions. He was looking for temporary solution for the captured people, but this didn't work very well. And then they began to feel the public opinion pressures, and they began to talk to Israel. You have to try to stop this kind of war, and this made a kind of crack between the two countries, I think. And we have seen that Joe Biden, before his announcement for withdrawal hours ago from the elections, have talked a lot to Netanyahu that this would affect his election. And we have seen recently, hours ago, that Biden has withdrawn from the election, waiting for more events. And yes, there are some people who say that different candidates might affect different policies for Israel in the next year. But I want to say something which is very, very, very important. The history repeats itself. In 1971, the United Nations, through the Security Council, sent to seek an advisory opinion from the court in the National Court of Justice for the illegal presence of South Africa and Namibia. 19 years ago, in 1990, Namibia declared its independence from South Africa. So now we are in front of a very, very important change in the world now.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it affects, of course.
Let's wait and see, because I think the coming days are going to carry a lot of changes. Let's cross our fingers that those changes are going to have positive impacts on the whole world, because already we have had enough of conflicts and crises. Well,
Sure.
Professor of Public International Law and member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Ayman Salah Mourad, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more.
Thank you.